And welcome everyone to the Highway to the Zemus-Zone Free Enterprise Playoffs. I am joined tonight by the wonderful Invenerable, also one of our runners in the round of 16 playoff matches. How you doing, Invenerable?
I'm doing pretty great. Very excited to see this race. Three amazing runners on deck. Going to be a blast to watch and commentate.
For sure. We're joined tonight as well by Maggie on commentary, as well as Scala Kitty, our gatekeeper and restreamer for the evening, and insidious roller of rough seeds. I am CasualGeekDave, and we're going to be getting started here in just a moment with riversmccown, Supremacy, and Nightdew, hoping to continue to the top 8.
One thing I really do like about these three being in this match together is if you look back over the history of since we really started racing this game, I mean, Rivers, vanilla speedrunner, came in on the ground floor. I think he and Nirm did the first race of this ever on SRL. Nightdew came in with a big batch of people late March, early April, and then Supremacy it didn't come in until June. And all three of them, highly competitive, highly skilled. It's going to be a heck of a race. And if you like what you see, y'all need to get in on it too. You can be as good as Kotaku acclaimed speedrunner riversmccown with just a few months of practice. It doesn't take long to get on board.
Yeah, we have a great community and really accessible, so many resources and just, yeah, perfect time to get involved for sure. We know for sure we're going to be starting this seed with Sid, and once we get started here, we'll see who else will get going.
Sid, not a bad character to see at the start. He may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but he is definitely a huge ball of HP, and on these seeds where you man up without a white mage, he can definitely pull some good Cure 3 duty down the road.
Yeah, it makes for a decent agility anchor as well, and for early game, can definitely tank a couple of hits. And it looks like we have Porum, and was that a power robe I saw?
It was, which will be very good on Sid in this early game. Although in the end game his damage tapers off a bit, with just his levels and that shirt, he's gonna be going full hammer time on all these early bosses.
Yeah, definitely a decent start for our runners here.
And given that we have a Sid with such a great piece of equipment to start things off, I wonder if anyone is. Oh, of course they have to set up their Cave Bahamut representing their squad. Always valuing Cave Bahamut, fixing their background colors right quick, and let's see if any of them are willing to tackle this Baron Inn spot or where they're going to be diverging off to once the seed gets underway.
Oh yeah, and like many of our races, they of course will make the initial gambit here into Baron, just raid some pots and various chests, see what we get for some opening items.
Oh yeah, some great stuff so far. Big Bomb will cast Fire 2 on all enemies. It can pretty much trivialize some bosses on its own. And Elixir, you always love to have one or two of those hanging around for emergencies. And that Strength Ring, Sid is going to have...
Strength Ring.
Yeah, Sid is going to have some multipliers right out this gate. I'm looking forward to seeing this hammer damage when we do finally start knocking off some of these bosses.
And Rivers here already ducking into Kaipo, so we get to get a little peek here, and it is a Sid duplicate.
Sid duplicate in Kaipo, Porum duplicate in Baron Inn. Who are these other three characters going to be? I mean, you have your white mage, you have a tank. Could use a little more DPS, I think.
Yeah, we got a really well-rounded start, but some additional damage will definitely give any of our racers a leg up.
Yeah. Rivers finding one of the few guaranteed overrolled items with the active S2 flag, finding Starveils for sale in that Kaipo shop. One of the items that I love to have before even fighting a single boss. You don't know if you're going to run into Wyvern at Antlion, Asura at Fable Gauntlet, any number of things that those Starveils are going to save your bacon from.
Yeah, it can turn an almost impossible fight into a really trivial fight pretty quickly with some of the bosses. It's definitely a good early get.
And Nightdew going to be able to upgrade, well, Nightdew and Supremacy both going to be able to upgrade that Strength Ring to a Zeus Gauntlet in the Damsian Treasury. Rivers opting to skip over it. I guess he figures with Sid, with the Power Robe and the Strength Ring, we can go ahead and move on to Antlion. We don't need the loot quite yet.
Yep, hoping to spare any time he can find. Hopefully that doesn't come to bite him. We have seen already 2 of our top spot runners in the top 16 already be eliminated, so hopefully for River's sake he doesn't fall into one of those traps.
That's true. Of the 4 people who let in points coming out of the regular league, we've lost Kobahi, we've lost Dipwood, Rivers and Nirm both hanging in there, but neither one of these matches is going to be a freebie by any means. So Supremacy is going to go see who this character is, and we do have a Tella. I think Nirm called that in the chat, so we're well on our way to getting the dream combo of Tella and Eddie on the squad. They seem to be on every C3 seed. Nightdew following suit. Rivers will be the first one to give us a peek at a new key item, though.
Living that Tella life.
Oh, Sid. Or it was a crit to be sure, but still, doing over 700 damage with the wood hammer, you'll love to see that in this part of the early game.
Oh yeah, great opening salvo there. Should make pretty quick work with Ogopogo with that kind of damage.
Still a little annoying. You're guaranteed to pretty much take half your health and damage from the opening double big wave. But we do have a white mage. Shouldn't be too hard to get topped off before moving on to our next destination.
And Rivers gets an adamant for his trouble.
If we don't see Cecil, of course, that item will end up being pretty useless. It's 1/2 of the method to get the Excalibur in the vanilla method, and it does open a high-tier shop in Kakol's Blacksmith. And at the very least, it is 1 key item on our path to 10, at which point all the XP we get is doubled.
That's very true. You know, of course, it could always come in handy with combined with that Legend Sword if we get Cecil, but Rivers is definitely one of our runners that is not afraid to skip Ordeals if he finds that it'll save him some time.
That's true. Although if we do end up finding Cecil, it'll be hard pressed for any runner to forego it this time. With Tella in the seed, if Cecil's in the seed, you already have 2 good reasons to go there.
With Tella there as well, it's pretty much a no-brainer.
Do I want an utterly useless old man or just a mostly useless old man? Speaking as a mostly useless old man, I'm going to go with the latter over the former.
I will continue my status as Florm up.
Ketchi2 asking chat, what was the Antlion key item? That was the Adamant. So we got a rock. Instead of a sand ruby, we got a different bit of stone.
And as we know at this point, thanks to Rivers checking Kaipo, the sand ruby is, other than, you know, contributing to our 10 key item score, is more or less a useless key item at this point.
Absolutely. That duplicate Sid won't create any improvement in our party. I suppose in a pinch, you do get a free heal by cracking it open there, but I don't think our runners are going to be in that dire of straits tonight. Mr. Pitboy pointing out in chat that there was a Soma drop in Antlion, so we may actually get to see some Telemeteo strats later on. Very long spell to cast, but it definitely can be helpful against certain boss spots.
I likes me some Telemeteo. It's rare, but when you see it, it is a grand thing. Especially when he doesn't have to die to make it happen.
Absolutely.
And Supremacy and Nightdew following River's example and looking for their key item in the Antlion cave. River surprisingly skipped Fabul. Looks like he may be looking to get some items.
I know that Rivers generally dislikes Fabul. He prefers if there's, and honestly, I understand his logic. Let me be clear that I'm not dissing it. It's a place that, in a worst case scenario, you can end up dipping 3 times. You go there for the gauntlet fight. You go there to see Sheila 1 time after talking to Yang. You go there another time after bumping him with the pan. If you can cut those down to even 2 visits or even all the way down to 1 visit, saves you a ton of time on a given seed. So I like the strategy a lot.
Yeah, with River's track record, I'm hard pressed to disagree with him. Looks
On
like
the other
he
hand,
is heading up there now.
I
Well, I
guess
mean,
if
after
you,
getting that adamant from Antlion, it's probably a good call at this point. His other only real options to take on the Baron in or go up Ordeals. So
that's true. Key items are key item spots are key item spots, and the first two we've had have been kind of a bust. Power Robe immensely useful, but it's not opening up anything else in the seed.
and we have Kanazo.
Not a bad spot to fight him at. Of course, his script does have him gather the water, send out a wave, which does about his current 5% of his current HP, give or take. So finding him at lower HP spots, especially with Sid to tank through it, won't be a challenge compared to, say, finding him in a element spot.
Having Tella there to get off a quick lit to spook him if necessary is also very useful.
Sadly, it means none of our racers will really feel compelled to buy a big honkin' stack of Thor rages, but you can't have that in every seed, sadly. Supremacy and Rivers, pretty much back to back. Nightdew hot on their heels. And there is our Magma key. We have underground access. This will not be a hook seed. It seemed like every other match in the round of 32 were hook seeds. It seems like things are being a little more forgiving for a change.
Yeah, the question is it going to end up being a jet seed, which has definitely been prone to throwing some racers off. We will see.
Also true. You do these trolley C3 seed after C3 seed, and it's like, oh, I have to go to the underworld to get the darkness crystal, to go to the moon to get the pan, to come back down and get an earth crystal, and then all of a sudden the game's like, oh, here you go, you can go fight Zeromus.
Right.
And your brain just short circuits a little bit. It's like, I forgot how to do things when they're this straightforward.
Looks like Supremacy's making his way down south, hoping to grab some more items.
Yeah, with the J1 flag on, of course, the items that were cut from the US version have been added back into the game. And there's so many that have such a great variety of uses, especially for applying good status effects to your characters, helping neutralize certain difficult bosses. It's unsurprising that these racers will double check these item shops on their way routing hither and thither.
Yeah, Rivers making his way through to the Troya item shop, and I believe I saw some sirens there.
Ooh, so grind time will not be restricted to the more obscure locations. Of course, money being an issue, only picking up a few of them for now, and all the life potions you will ever need.
And
For
with a
those of
seed
you
like
who...
this, you can definitely never have too many life potions.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for those of you who have not been following all the highway to the Zemus-Zone, the Siren, of course, one of our key items for getting our good grinds going, either with the dragon eggs in the underground, the double gold dragons on the moon, tons of places you can use them to call high experience, low threat fights. So, gonna make getting the levels necessary for Zeromus much simpler.
Seeing our runners kind of following a very similar path here. Nightdew now also hitting the same item shop with the sirens. Supremacy rushing straight to turn in that Magma key. And Rivers is right behind him to turn in that Magma key.
Absolutely. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me if our racers check the free key item location in Fey March, go ahead and chat with Yang once, and then come back to Sheila before probably continuing on to Ordeals, because that Tella... Blink is pretty handy, but beyond that, you're not getting mileage out of this old man at this time.
Yeah, Ordeals is going to be a very tempting check as soon as they can get to it.
And of course, ultimately, Zeromus strats and other high-end boss strats will likely depend on who our other two characters are and if we even get them. Sid, with only Porum on heal duty, you would have to get her a lot of levels for just the two of them to, you know, finish off Zeromus with this 3-person team. So it will not surprise me if our racers end up doing a bit of a character hunt, even if they go ahead and happen to find Zeromus access plus crystals sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Sid will have some pretty decent damage output at this point based on what we've found, especially if we find something like a rune axe or anything else. But on his own is still pretty limited. Might be able to increase that if they're able to find the pink tail, maybe get an adamant to supplement him a little more, but some additional DPS at this point is definitely going to be high on their list of wants.
One thing I find really cute, both Rivers and Supremacy just did this. They looked at the item shop, they saw Bacchus wines and got really excited, like, oh yes, gonna get my Zircon. Exited the item shop and were like, wait, what the? Kamikazes! I need kamikazes too. And they both bought a small stack of those. A very underutilized item, a lot of people finding new uses for them. And I'm glad to see that it's translated into the plays of these top tier runners.
And not too surprising, Rivers and Supremacy making their way down to the Fey March to do their key item spot checks and possibly check the summon spots here. Looks like Nightdew is going to take a little detour to make some omelets.
Understandable. If you do head down through Fey March, you will be walking on those lava tiles, losing a ton of HP, and once the dragon does break out of the egg, if by some weird circumstance that hourglass wears off, it will use a percentage-based lightning attack. And if you're all at 1 HP from walking on lava, well, 1%, I mean 1 HP, not a very high percentage number to for it to knock you out.
And Nightdew here might be taking a little bit of a page from El Magus' book from the race the other night. Really had a leg up from grinding a little bit before going down into the Fey March, which enabled him to defeat the boss there and find a crystal. So we will see if this little early grind pays off for Nightdew or not.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to getting a peek at who these two bosses are. Of course, if there are freebies like that this early, and Nightdew's the only one equipped to deal with them, could definitely blow the seed wide open. And I got a little bit of stream stutter. Okay, got to see him on Supremacy screen. We do have a vanilla Leviathan, and this time his partner in royalty appears to either be Mylon or Mylon Z. Ironically, vanilla Leviathan, one of the better bosses to see there. Physical bosses in those slots hit like trucks, and Leviathan doesn't actually use a single physical attack, just the percentage-based Big Wave and Ice 2, which will do magic damage to you, to a decent number of hundreds, but Starveils can neutralize that, so might be something Nightdew wants to try, maybe not.
Yeah, with that additional grinding he did, could definitely I still think they would be a little bit tough fights, but I think very doable for him.
The time investment may be the bigger issue at hand, of course. Archangel 13 in chat pointing out that little newly acquainted with the free enterprise randomizer, your average runtime will depend entirely on your flag set. For the particular flag set we've been running here in the playoffs, as well as the one in the round of 32, most seeds are probably in the 1 to 2 hour range. Only a few of them ran past the 2 hour mark. And there are outliers either direction at times, of course.
Yep, we do have the rare sub hour as well.
Exactly.
Oh, and we have the pass.
Well, Zeromus access down. Now we just got to find a way to transform him into his true form.
And always some value with Sheila.
And also, since we do have sirens for sale on the Earth, we don't have to worry about using the lunar whale to get to a grind fight, either in the Giant of Babel or with certain moon fights and bosses and such. So if we get that crystal, we're going to be off to the races. I'll be impressed if anyone does it with just these 3 characters, though. That's for sure.
Looks like Supremacy is making the decision to go to Ordeals. Happy to see that. And I think Rivers is going to take a break to make some omelets himself.
Not a bad call. This will very, very easily trivialize the Ordeals bosses, and then let him continue on to Baron Inn for another very quick key item check, and continue working their way through the seed. Kate said, still hoping in chat. D-miss with Crystal and CPU spot. We've not seen it yet. Not not in
the
league
dream.
matches, at least.
That's the dream, Kate Sith.
I've had it one time and one time alone, and it was actually in a pickup race with riversmccown and a few other members of the community, and it was a sight to behold.
Supremacy getting water hack on Ordeals. So that's a freebie.
Well, if Porum could hit,
yeah,
swing and a miss. Water hack, one of those bosses that you would kind of like to see later in the game in a more difficult spot, is you only have to bop it 3 times. Well, if you can hit it with Porum and Tella doing the swinging, okay, Sid's got it taken care of. But yeah, only takes 3 hits under these flags. We do have no free lunch 1, so all the vanilla boss scripts are still in place. You don't have to deal with the entirety of Water Hag's HP, other bosses as well. It's not just do your damage. You have little tricks in your tool chest that you can break out to beat these things up.
It looks like Rivers feels secure with his grind at this point, and I believe he's going to make a little dive into the Dwarf Castle, maybe hoping for another character.
Not unreasonable. At this point, aside from the crystal, of course, the big thing holding this team back is its composition. Having another really good mage can make reflect strats viable. Having a couple of good heavy hitters can make, more berserker or hybrid strats viable. So I don't blame him. Characters are definitely at a premium under this flag set.
We're getting Valvalis here on Ordeals. Somewhat of a rough fight, but I think a Berserk Sid can probably do some pretty reasonable damage in this spot. Just going to be a timely fight.
Absolutely. That is... wow. This is one of those few bosses that would really hold back this team on Ordeals. Sid can break through most of them with just his equipment and levels, but this could be a huge time sink for Supremacy.
And Nightdew's running into Rubicon here in the Baron Inn.
First spot though, so only 400 HP to blast through.
Yeah, easy peasy. Octomom's proven pretty difficult for Rivers at this point. If he can keep that blink up, he can make his way through it.
Yeah, Tella does come with Blink. That is one of his base spell set's greatest features. But just not enough defense on Tella and Porum to stay standing.
And the almighty Karate here gonna pose a little bit of a threat, but I think a Berserk Sid's gonna make pretty quick work of him.
Oh yeah. Those damage numbers are gonna chew through this HP in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
Supremacy is through Valvalis. Managed to knock her down and keep everyone, well, get everyone back up for full XP gains.
Yeah, all 3 runners making their way through some 3 potentially difficult bosses here with ease, so good to see. And I believe Nightdew got a Baron key for his trouble.
Unlocks another character location and 2 key item locations, one of which may be a little nastier than the other, of course. Supremacy going to be the first to start living the true Tella life. Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Scala, what have you done?
The spooniest of bards has arrived.
Oh.
And a mega nuke. Oh man.
Scala strikes again. Oh my gosh. Insult to no, injury to insult. Let me get this in the right order. Injury to insult. Edward's the insult. The mega nuke from Wyvern is the injury. And all that effort completely undone for Rivers. Ugh, so brutal.
The mega
so
nuke
brutal.
was just the bow on the beautiful package that was.
Oh, goodness. We don't even get to see what the key item was either. Oh, watch it be Crystal there, and that would just leave. So here's the thing, Dave. Are you going to be in a position where that leaves such a sour taste in your mouth you put it off as long as possible, or is it going to be something where you want to come back and get your vengeance?
I think if it were anybody but Rivers, maybe, but I think he is just going to keep it completely logical. Whatever is the quickest course of action in front of him, he's just going to plow through it. That being said, it might be a minute.
Oh yeah, actually, I missed what was on Ordeals as well. I was so I was so excited over the entire Dwarf Castle situation that I missed it. I hope our tracker Maggie caught it. If not, I hope someone in the chat caught it.
We were just too busy basking in the glory of that just 1-2 punch.
Gotcha. And it seems that it was just some sort of equipment or other utility item, not actually a key one. Gotcha. Thank you, Scala. Scala double-checking Supremacy's tracker on his own stream. Which, by the way, if you are not following these three racers, make sure you give them all a follow. They're all, I mean, they're this far into the playoffs. They're all amazing at this game. They're all really fun to hang out with and watch race this game. And you may learn a thing or two. So give them all a follow when you get a chance.
Definitely genuinely awesome people. They are worthy of a follow, as is Invenerable.
Oh, and of course that CasualGeekDave is pretty worth your time as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like seeing somebody, casually fail at some games from time to time. Alright, Rivers following Nightdew down here through to the Baron Castle. Fortunately, Nightdew making pretty quick work of the Magus Sisters. And Supremacy also following suit by taking on the Baron Inn.
This is an interesting kind of double-edged situation here. Rivers and Nightdew both have the advantage of a few bonus levels from knocking off those yellow dragon eggs. Supremacy has a Tella with a full spell suite. And I just noticed 100 MP. He did use the Soma drop. And with those Magus Sisters upcoming, this could be a really good spot to get our Meteos on.
Some juicy Meteos. It could be the time. And we have elements. This should be pretty quick work for Nightdew's party at this point.
Absolutely. That Nightdew is just using Sid with Berserk and Bacchus Wine to just slay everything in his path. Doesn't even get the third form. First half of the fight's all you need, which, you don't get full XP, but we have better sources of XP. Let's go fast.
Oh yeah, utilizing Sid with prejudice.
Oh, and there is the third Porum of the seed. Ooh. Well, at this point, what would be the nice thing to receive? An Earth Crystal would be pretty kind here. Not only for the exorbitant amount of loot, but a couple of relatively easy boss spots and the 2 character checks. Because adding Edward to this team does not do anything to make me want to take this team to Zeromus.
Yeah, I think Earth Crystal would be pretty decent. Power Key wouldn't be bad.
Not at all,
but
not at all.
I think Earth Crystal would be the most useful.
Let's see. What's in the pot? Ooh.
Ooh, and a pan.
I mean, it is a key item on our path to 10, and it unlocks 2 more key items without a single boss fight. We'll be able to get the Sylph item by bonking Young, and then we turn it into Sheila for her second item. This could blow the seed wide open. Could have a lot of options to choose from after this.
Definitely a great item to see. Really, anybody's race at this point. No clear advantage other than Supremacy having finished Ordeals.
Absolutely. And also depending on what that piece of gear was. I'm not sure if anyone spotted it yet. It could be a weapon, it could be a piece of armor, something that when we do get our 5th character, if we get our 5th character, makes a major difference. Sylph item is... Drumroll, please.
Spoon!
They're like, hey, you have that nice pan. Do you need something to help eat the food that you cook in it? Here you go.
Heard you like some
Delicious.
medios. Here's some spoons to eat your medios with.
All right, Supremacy, are you just going to beat the sisters up with burst, or are you going to give us our medio action? I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some medio action here.
Are you here to win, or are you here to give us a show, Supremacy? Come on. Oh, yeah.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Doing it. I owe him a Bacchus.
And Nightdew gets the tower key, the one of my personal favorite keys in the game. It is nice that this item chain is kind of funneling all our racers in kind of the same area. That's one thing I like when this happens, is that it creates it more about execution rather than just lucky guesses, which, you know, a lucky guess now and again to, you know, give you an edge is great. But when we have these top tier runners in a race, I like seeing how these little minor execution and strategical differences actually play out. And this kind of enables that.
And it's always a shame to see a racer come this far to just get rabbit holed by random chance. And that's just unfortunately the reality of a game like this.
But if they all get rabbit holed together, we can at least, you know,
Yeah.
we can enjoy all their misery instead of just feeling sorry for the one person who has the misery.
Exactly. As long as everyone's suffering, I'm happy.
Well, we do know Edward and Tella and Porum are... and we have, like, the 4 worst characters already. I mean, I'm trying to think of who I would least like to see for the 5th. I mean, even at least Rydia you can grind up to get Medio. Honestly, as much as I love her, Rosa might be the most annoying character to add to this group.
Hashtag Dream Team.
Oh, yeah, if it is a repeat of last night's team altogether... then I'll really enjoy it. I had to suffer through it. You 3 have to suffer through it. Let's go. Fingers crossed. It is true, as Demarine points out, that double White Mage hype. We did at least all 4 racers finishing the race last night with this exact team. Well, if we get Rosa. Does illustrate a couple of good ideas for how to get through that Z fight, so...
Definitely shows the flexibility of White Magic.
Just hope you got your star bells.
Nightdew taking his little detour to finish off Ordeals. Not surprising.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprised to see Rivers follow suit either, just to unlock those spells on Tella before heading back underground. Yeah,
And
just
with
a
the
little...
additional levels at this point, Nightdew should make pretty quick work of Volvalis, especially with Berserk.
Absolutely.
And,
So it's really...
Rivers following suit.
At least we'll have 2 more chances to see what that piece of gear we missed was.
Yeah.
And then Supremacy will be leading the charge. I wonder if he's going to... I mean, obviously we have... Well, he has to do the pan routine first, but then I wonder if he'll follow the tower key up Babel, or go down into... Oh no, he... Odin check? Odin check?
Ooh, do it. He's
This is
doing
juicy.
it.
This is juicy. Okay, good. Pan, 2 free items, don't even care. I gotta know who this boss is now.
Let's go.
There I was saying, I wonder if he'll go to Dwarf Castle or on to Babel. No. Supremacy has bigger fish to fry.
I like it. A little bit of a gamble. We've been seeing a lot of safety from our runners in this so far. Right? I think it was a little bit of a gamble on Supremacy's part. I like it.
Yeah, Rivers took the first big risk going into Dwarf Castle.
Oh.
Yeah, not even letting the fight commence.
And bounce.
Yeah. Vigon's not the worst boss, provided you have certain tools to make him manageable. This team doesn't have those tools.
We have none of those tools. A severe lack of those tools.
Yeah, that's the kind of fight where I'd want... I mean, an adamant armor would make it pretty much free. Just slap that on Sid, berserk him, and, you know, go make a sandwich. And then Quake, if you have, you know, a really, 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 really high level Rydia, or, you know, middle level Palom, you can knock it out, but yeah.
At this point, we are far from the sharpest tools in the shed. We are a blunt instrument to the chin. And Nightdew facing CPU.
Ooh, yeah. And apparently just a ninja shirt, which, if Edge is our character, that's ridiculously good defensive gear for him. Drastically reduces damage by Big Bang at the end game, but no sign of a ninja yet.
Not many signs, period, at this point.
Nah, Magius asking in chat about Edward equipping the spoon. Although that's a routine joke and a little bit of a meme, that is not currently one of the things that the devs intend to add. They want it to be mostly true to the vanilla Final Fantasy IV experience, including Edward being, well, not useless, just exceedingly niche uses.
He's an artist.
So Supremacy hunting down, trying to round out this team. Gonna face off with this squid, this octopus, whatever. 8 legs. And then we'll get to have his heart broken just as Rivers did.
The evil grin that just creeped across my face seeing Supremacy go into Dwarf Castle. It's so sad.
One thing I will note here, though, is that he does have Tella in the anchor position. And so, although that's a pretty fast spot, the Vanilla Golbez location, if Supremacy can get a Starvel off, he'll be in good shape to at least make it out of here with the character and the potential key item.
Feel a little bit better about it if his in-game time was turned down a bit, but with that speed up, that's going to be a tough maneuver to pull off, to say the least.
Nightdew following suit as well. Well, all 3 of these racers... That's the other thing, too. It's one thing, you see a lunar boss, you think, okay, this could be Wyvern, and you get ready, you get your run buffer prepared, you think, I got this. I'm ready to reflect it. But you're so crestfallen because you just had Edward added to your party that you may not be quite on top of your game at that point. It's just like, oh, do I really care about winning this fight? And then Mega Nuke happens.
You put your controller down, your hands are on your head, and oh no, I didn't run buffer.
RPG Mail poking fun at me. I am a known loather of Dwarf Castle checks, but C3 does it to you. You gotta have the party.
Skull's got my back in chat.
Oh, Sid makes it!
Oh!
Sid makes it! Get the life chain going! Uh-oh, here come the counter nukes. You know, in one sense...
Oh!
In one sense, that's even worse than what happened to Rivers. Because
yeah.
you made it, it looked like you could survive, you made it to the nuke phase, you get even a life potion off, not fast enough.
Oh, is he gonna go again? He's gonna go for it again.
He slapped that cursed ring.
Oh no, okay, he's flying away. Oh no, Supremacy, you trolling?
Okay, cursed ring on Tella, battle speed down to 3. He's going for it.
Yeah, he's going again. Yep.
He thinks he can get that. He can either get the Starvel off or survive it well enough to get the.
And Nightdew eating the same fate.
Oh, he didn't even wait for the damage numbers. His Sid might have survived as well. Probably not.
His HP is pretty low. Yeah, would have been something else. Rivers looks like he's making his way up the tower.
Yeah, Rivers knows what's waiting in Dwarf. He's like, no, I'm good.
We'll just come back to that later.
Nightdew not electing to give it a second try. I wonder if Supremacy's the only one with that curse ring. I've not paid full attention to their inventories. It's kind of hard to keep track when they're scrolling fast and with the gray on gray. But so this is kind of an... Sorry, I just saw the Odin at the top of the tower. Kind of an interesting spot for him. Because River's going to go safety save, I think. Although his physical attacks will hit like a truck, the Odin attack itself won't be as bad as you expect it to be, because the Lugae spot has very low magic attack. So this may be something that Sid can survive.
Yeah, and with Tella, we do have that lit 3 going into that contest. And Blink is available to Porum and Tella, so, I mean, it's doable.
Yeah, there are definite strategies here that can work, and it'll be really cool to see if any of our racers can make it happen.
And I didn't see, did Supremacy nope out of it again?
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't blame him. Not worth the time sink at this point.
And with that double dip into Dwarf Castle, it feels like Supremacy may have lost his ever so small lead a little bit.
Yeah, considering he hadn't panned yet either, I think that does definitely put him behind a bit.
Be following suit pretty quickly with that tower key, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, last night, after the match was over, in one of the numerous places where people talk about this game, one racer was suggesting that it might not be the wildest gamble. Even if you have tower key, just ignore this Lugae spot. Whatever. Does it ever have anything useful? Sure, sometimes. And I'm wondering if this may end up being one of those situations where it would have been better for our racers to just forego it, unlock that tower room, and get on about their business.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely find out soon. Especially with this party comp, it'd be a very quick in and out to just grab that tower key spot and go.
Rivers showing off the power of old men, using Tella's Lightning 3 to great effect while Sid berserks, and Womp Womp, White Robe. Not a key item.
At least useful for Porum going into Zeromus.
Absolutely. I can't deny that. But it's still, where are our key items, game? Where's... Well, I guess we do have a few at this point. That pan kind of blew it open, but come on.
Yeah. We still have 3 summon spots available. I think we're going to see some more grinding here in the near future.
I would be more excited about a white robe if I had someone to put it on other than Porum. I have a feeling that no matter how much clothing you throw on this mage, you're still going to end up eating a big bang and having to recover. And then, of course, watch her get rolled for only like 1,600 HP a pop, and then I get to regret the comment altogether.
Well, there was a few apples in play too. You know, they overlevel a little bit, throw a couple apples on her. She might be pretty worthwhile. I'm sure, with limited options, we're gonna do what they can to buff her up.
The D-Lunars in the tower room, or pardon me, the cannon room. Very few HP to burn through. Don't have to worry about abusing their scripts, turning them into frogs, anything of that sort. Very clean fight. So Rivers, I think, at this point, does have the slight advantage.
Lead. Yeah. Yeah, Supremacy caught up to Nightdew very quickly, but is struggling with Odin. Ooh, it's a wipe. I do not believe that Supremacy took the time to grind that Rivers and Nightdew did, so he's a little more limited on the magic available. So doesn't have Blink yet, and some other spells.
Let's see, what has this slightly convoluted chain led to for Rivers?
Earth Crystal, the chain continues.
I mean, that's the kind of key item I like to see with this squad. We'll probably, we hopefully will get to find out who our fifth party member is, which is still a mystery. We're nearly 45 minutes in, have no idea who number 5 is going to be. Chat calling the curses down upon our racers already, wanting double dupes. Now, I kind of hope for it to be Cecil, and the best weapon we ever find is a fire sword, and no one takes the time to go hunt down an ice brand in a shop. There we go.
Or drain sword.
Ooh, drain sword strats. That could be fun.
Ooh, Ogre Axe. I haven't seen yet if anybody's picked up a Rune Axe or anything similar for City yet. I don't believe so. I think the most they had was a Poison Axe. Ooh, another apple for Porum.
And Supremacy having a little bit of bad luck at the Odin spot as well. River's the only one of these 3 racers to make it through Odin on the first try. Supremacy deciding to nope out of it. Just going to check the key item spot, the cannon room key item spot. And big gamble here, big gamble. Having to make this decision saying, you know, if I lose to Odin another time, I probably lose anyway. Let's hope that it's not the path to my crystal. Yeah,
a big gamble, but you know, knowing what we know, he's not going to really miss out on much by skipping that spot. So it's a really good gamble for him at this point.
Yeah, and although the white robe is begrudgingly admitted, probably the best bit of armor to throw on Porum aside from an adamant armor, if you're gonna lose to Odin, you know, more times trying to get it, probably not worth the trade-off.
And Rivers being the first to hit Zot here.
I'm sure all our racers will follow suit very quickly. The prospect of getting a new character is too major to pass up.
Yeah, a lot of heavy breathing.
Nightdew doing a little... It looked like he may have been considering going and popping another Siren or two. Saw him angling towards that little 3-step beach over on the west side of the underworld before deciding, nah, we can deal with Zot.
Thought twice about it. It's Zot. I can handle it. Let's hope he's right.
I mean, he does have Sid and Porum at level 33.
Yeah, that's definitely a good start.
Yeah, if you're, I think that's probably adequate for the Tower of Zot. We'll see though.
And our good old friend Derek missed.
We have our bonus round. That's where Miss Dragon was last night too. I think the is the website broken? What is this happening? What is this?
Will somebody switch that 0 to a 1, please?
I mean, still good to see. You always worry in the back of your head, oh no, am I going to have to end up hunting, say, going to King and Queen Evelyn's spot in Babel? Am I going to have to check every little cave on the earth? Am I going to have to go into Giant and hunt bosses? So, Demist here. Happy find, happy find.
Nightdew taking a minute to look through the trap chests here. Not a bad move, some okay experience and potentially good items.
We are kind of, I mean, an adamant armor here is amazing. Good weapons for, that's a cat claw. If we see Yang at the top of this tower, Nightdew will be thankful for it.
That could be worth. Supremacy taking a little detour to do some item management and sell some items. I believe that was his first check to that shop that had the sirens as well, so I'm pretty sure he's really happy to see that.
Of course, you also have to be wondering, did my opponents come here earlier? Did they do a little mini grind that kept them from suffering the fate I did at those multiple boss spots? Both Supremacy having trouble at Dwarf Castle, having trouble at Odin spot.
Yeah, the pressure of a race like this can start to add up. For Chris of the Mountain chat asking, why are the racers trying to run in an unwinnable race? Would you like to explain run buffering, Invenerable?
Sure, this is actually well, it's a, I don't know if you describe it as a glitch, but it's used in the vanilla speedrun extensively, and it has great utility here in Free Enterprise as well. What happens is, oh my goodness, that's a Fusilier. Okay. We found a mop. Good mop.
Yeah.
So run buffering. when you start to run away and can't run dialog box pops up at the top of the screen, it freezes ATB for everyone in the fight, including the boss. But because you already have your character's menu, you in real life, well, you're not frozen at all. So if while can't run is popped up, you choose your action and get it underway, you get a little more turn utility. This is immensely useful if you're starting to get hosed by Zeromus going too fast. It's frequently used to get a Starvel off before Wyvern unleashes its first Mega Nuke, and there are a few other places where you'll see it used as well. The people who do the vanilla speedrun, like Rivers, who is, I think, second in every one of the major categories, well, no CW and no 64, it's used extensively there. So for him, it's just a reflex at this point.
That was a great explanation, thank you.
I'm sure that if there are vanilla runners in the chat, they could be a little more explicit about the mechanics of it, but that's the gist.
Oh, that was very well said. Pardon for our interruption for foo exclamations, but I mean, come on.
He definitely is going to make the seed a little easier going forward. Already has Quake. I think he's about to be at full power for Rivers.
He is. As of that fight.
Get Cood, you may just want to watch the end of that match, and I think a lot of people in chat will agree that it's probably better seen rather than described.
For sure. And we will continue on our trek here for no seats for old men. Rumblefish calling this the ZZ Top C3.
Thinking back to when everyone was wiping at Wyvern, if the rule you followed led you here, of what use was the rule?
Ooh, and Rivers is in go mode.
Wow. So are we at 10 key items, by the way? I'm wondering if we have the doubling done. 1, 2, 3, 10. Exactly 10.
Yep. We are go.
Yeah, so someone asked in chat, do you even go for Edward? No.
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 Not even.
Yeah. We are going to see an egg, well, theoretically, maybe wrong. We're going to see an egg grind up until he thinks Porum has decent survivability. And then he will be doing, I would assume, reflect strats, try to keep Zeromus to 61,000 HP, rather than letting it do the refill and having to deal with all the health.
Yep, looking to make Tella his agility anchor. Definitely a good move.
Moving that change rod over to Fu to give him a little more black magic power. I mean, it's a decent party now, RPG Mail. If you add Foo to any terrible party, it becomes a decent party. As long as you're not in go mode after only 3 bosses, then you're like, oh, why do I have Foo?
Yeah, eat this fire one. Yay. Yep, all 3 runners are going to be in pretty good shape leaving this, so it's going to be a very tight finish. I think execution of the Zeromus fight and this grind are going to be crucial. Absolutely.
Every character has the same 10 key items. They've all traveled pretty much the same road. Had a few missteps along the way. If Supremacy looks a little bit behind right now, it's likely because he did make a second attempt at Dwarf Castle. He did fall to Odin a couple times before noping out of Lower Babel. But this is still anyone's match. Zeromus fights can go pear-shaped in a hurry, especially with this kind of team. It seems all the runners are going to be going in with only 4 characters. Not even bothering with Edward, can't blame them. And just a nasty big bang, a consecutive virus big bang to knock out all your healers. And yeah, still anybody's race. Very exciting finish incoming though.
Yeah, and call me crazy, but with C3, I think we've just been seeing high roll big bangs like they're just commonplace.
It does feel like they've been. I've seen a lot more 24 and 2500s than I think I saw in the entire round of 32.
Yeah. For sure. I think we've seen him in at least every race. And definitely changes your perspective on that fight a little bit.
One thing I'm thinking right here, though, as well, is that Rivers does have very few Sirens left, and I wonder if he's going to be content with a lower level Porum going into the Z fight, or if he's going to opt to go buy another stack and come back and do more grinding. I mean, we were talking about Big Bang rolling for 2400, 1400 HP, not going to cut it.
Yeah, I think if anybody was going to try to go in low, it's going to be Rivers, but as we've seen, that could bite him if he's not careful, so I don't know, time will tell.
Yeah. And of course, all our runners also have to be doing a little bit of reflection here, thinking that this was a very straightforward seed. The key items that the bosses that beat us up stopped us in our tracks. The bosses that we could beat funneled us all into the same place. You have to think.
Surprisingly, Supremacy stopped by Mist, turning Mist Dragon there and got a Luca key for his trouble.
Could have been hoping for an adamant armor, maybe, thinking that, you know, the 45 seconds to get that would possibly improve the situation. A crystal ring or a protect ring as well, because Supremacy didn't get the white robe that the other 2 racers did. So at this point, he has to be really worried about his Porum, and rightly so. So just to recount our chain right quick. So, Magma Key was at Babel and was necessary. Baron Key was at Baron Inn, Vanilla Spot. Baron Castle Pot gave us the Pan. Pan gave us, from Sheila's second item, the Tower Key. The Tower Key gave us the Earth Crystal, and the Earth Crystal gave us the Crystal Crystal. And Pass was at... Where was Pass, Dave? Do you remember? Oh, that was Sheila's first item.
Oh, yeah. Sheila.
Yeah. There we go. So, that is possibly, combination of probably and possibly, one of the longest key item chains we've seen, and it was all on the Earth as well. Very very long route to follow, but again, everyone was pretty much funneled into it. With this kind of team, you're not getting off a Starveil fast enough at Wyvern, you're not tackling those 2 Fey March bosses yet, and the Odin spot, ugh, nah.
Did Nightdew exit out of that fight? I think that may have just been a misclick. As I haven't seen the exit animation in a free enterprise race, so I was like, what?
There's still one thing that I've heard, that if you have wall on a character and that character casts the warp spell, it does the disrupt animation that both the Shadow Dragon and the trapdoors use.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of want to actually go and see that at some point. Demery pointing out that she and I called a race the other week where it was a very similarly length seed culminating in a, I believe it was a glass mask at Dark Elf spot in Cave Magnus. Ugh.
Fortunately, this time some value was found. And all coming down to execution at this point.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a very interesting finish because I guarantee you, each of these runners will choose their own personal cutoff for Porum, and that'll be when they decide to go. And Rivers is either run out of sirens or he's decided it's time to go.
I believe he's out, so we'll see if he's going to pick up some more or go for it.
Yeah. One of the other things, Mel, he may not have the same spell set because Supremacy was not able to clear the Odin spot at the top of the tower while the other two racers were. So his Fu might be, well, I think Quake was fairly early though, so may have a slightly less HP on Fu and a slightly different spell set.
Rivers saved. I think he's going for it. He's going for it.
One thing that we've seen time and time again too is that someone like our racers who aren't at Zeromus will be grinding. They'll see that dot done in the IRC window, and then it's like, well, grind's over, gotta go.
Yeah.
But they're all so close together that I think everyone will be done with their grind by the time Rivers does his dot done, if he survives the fight and takes the whole shebang. So this is going to come down not just to, that kind of metagaming, but your own personal view of what is the cutoff for this character.
Definitely going to be interesting to see. And Nightdew's already in a pretty good position in his grind, so he probably is not far from his cutoff, I would imagine.
You have to be paranoid with Porum, though. We've seen how high these big bangs have been, and we'll see if Rivers made the right decision. One nasty wipe here, and you're going to think, oh, do I just try it again and wipe again, or do I go back and do more grind? So this is his heart has to be pounding at this point.
And who's our Z-Sprite going to be today?
Tonight, we will be kicking the butt of...
Link's Awakening, eat your heart out.
Yeah, I've not seen this one before. This is great.
Yeah, it's a new one for me.
It's the Windfish's Nightmare, right?
Yep.
Looks pretty well kitted with items, though. Got plenty of ether, which I love.
You have a problem, sir.
Plenty of Star Veils. Had the Silk Web to slow down the fight. Still pretty speedy, though.
That first Big Bang is loose. It was well nerfed and taken care of.
So I wonder exactly Rivers' plan here, because he
started mailing up Porum.
Because he definitely has Sid berserked right now, which won't do enough damage on his own to get through phase 1 in all likelihood. So we'll probably end up seeing a black hole, and then I would assume he'd just round out the rest of it with Porum and Fu.
Yeah, I think he's counting on that black hole for sure, and probably counting on Porum to fall.
Yeah. The risky thing, of course, is what happens if if he does too much damage with these nukes and these whites right off the bat, and then an unexpected hit from Sid causes the refill, because this team may not have the constitution to stand up to the full amount of Zeromus health.
It looks like Nightdew is making a detour, maybe looking for some items.
I wonder if Nightdew ever found the Star Veils. Rivers found them in Kaipo, and they're usually for sale in a couple of places. That may be what Nightdew is hunting right now.
Yeah, I don't believe Nightdew has dived Kaipo.
Yeah. So that's probably what he's hunting for. We know they're guaranteed an overworld shop, so it's just a matter of checking them all and finding them. Rivers re-Bacchusing is a courageous move. He may just be thinking, you know, forget getting the HP refill skip. We're going to do this just hybrid strats, make our way through the full amount, and everything will be hunky-dory. But I know I would want to cut this Zeromus fight in half if I could.
And I'm worried about Nightdew. All this hunting for an item, I think Supremacy's catching up. I believe Supremacy's finished his grind and is ready to follow Rivers to Zeromus at this point.
Ooh, that would be a rough way to end up losing this. But if that's what your Zeromus strat depends on, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Ooh, going to check the underground shops. No, Nightdew, they're in Kaipo. Where are you going? We'll find Bacchus and Kamikazes here. Oh, this hurts me. This hurts me. This race was so close, so close. And for this one little bit of shopping percent to keep it from working. Ooh.
And Rivers just perfectly timing these black holes to work in his heels just right. Really showing off some pro level hybrid strats here.
Absolutely. And of course taking the time to keep Fusoya's MP topped off. Only having 190 or 200 if he happened to save his ooh, that is
lucky.
A bad target. Keeping
Porm survived though.
Yep, and Cure 3 to undo that damage. Yeah, MP management on Fu is going to be a huge part of this fight if you're doing hybrid strats and intend to go the full duration. With the refill skip, probably not as necessary, but in this situation, those Ether 2s and whatever elixirs he found will definitely make this easier than it could be.
Did he just skip the Starvin?
Oh, did he count the damage? Or is he trying to... Huh, that nuke did not trigger a counter.
I think I saw Nightdew found Starveils in the underground, but I don't believe he picked him up, so I'm not quite sure what he's looking for.
Huh. Maybe a Silk Web, maybe wanting to slow things down.
That's a lot of time to spend looking for a Silk Web.
Magus
making a good point.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep, ethers would be very useful for it.
Well, there we go!
There we go! riversmccown making our first place victory tonight with a time of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 5 seconds.
For how many key item spots they had to check, this turned out to be a little bit of a jet seat. Oh, now we're going to get our stream muted by Major League Baseball. Thanks, Rivers. Banned, demonetized on YouTube. But not GG riversmccown, showing why, I mean, he's one of the greats at this game, one of the legends, and he's knocked it out of the park again, ladies and gentlemen.
Meanwhile, Supremacy so far is holding his own in this fight.
Was a little worried with that Porum having such low HP, but...
Oh! Oh!
What you got against household cleaning products, Porum? Come on.
And a mistake like that is just what Nightdew needs to get back into it here. Looks like he's recovering well.
We should have Rivers joining us shortly. In the meantime, This is pretty intense. A slight mistiming on Supremacy's part will give Nightdew the advantage here.
Oh, man. And nuking Porum. Yeah, a little bit of mistiming here.
Sorry if I've fallen a little silent here. This is just really, really intense. Like, what is going to happen between these two?
Yeah, it's anyone's race at this point. Ooh, Fu barely surviving that big bang. Managing to keep Supremacy in this for now. That would have been a high roll. That would have been over.
Yeah, if Fu had wiped there, this would have probably... the pendulum would have swung the other direction. Small part of me thought it would be funny if that virus had knocked off Nightmas, but did not. Oh, and hey, we are joined by your winner, advancing to the final day, riversmccown, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's up?
Beautifully executed.
And we have a wipe on Supremacy's side.
Oh, this could give Nightdew the chance to come back and steal that second place.
Yeah, and he's taking time to grind now.
So Rivers, were you nervous at all during your Zeromus fight?
There's no way to not be nervous when that's your party. But I decided early on that I should try to kind of do the combo strats to put as much damage as possible out there. And yeah, I was really happy to tip him early. I figured if worst case I could just berserk sit out and wait it out, let it finish that way. But thankfully, just everything went right in that seed.
Yeah, we were wondering.
Except for Wyvern.
Yeah, well, you weren't the only one who got caught by it. Everyone had at least one wipe to Wyvern, so you weren't alone there. Did you go in fully intending to do the hybrid strats, or were you hoping to possibly skip the refill altogether?
Fully intending to do the hybrid strats. I think when you do cursed ring strats, you're really hoping you're doing this to get as many berserk turns as you can. And I know Sid is pretty slow, but you could still see him getting like 4 or 6 a turn or whatever. And yeah, I just figured that was going to be the easiest way. I had to put all the damage I could on him.
Gotcha. Excellent strategy. Excellent strategy. So, which of these? It's neck and neck. Which of these two are you more scared of if they make it to the final day with you and the other people who've advanced?
I'm only scared of Scala Seeds.
That's reasonable.
I think I've developed that phobia as well. That's why I have this crippling ether addiction now. Well, GG tonight. Beautifully executed, beautifully played. You made it through a lot of little potholes that tripped up some of your opponents. And yeah, great to see as always.
Thanks so much, and then Dave, and then good luck on the rest of the commentary. I'll bail out now.
All right.
Hope we get a good finish.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
So, at this point, Nightdew's little shopping spree may have saved his bacon. Supremacy took that wipe, decided to do a little bit of a regrind, heading back to Zeromus now. If whatever it was, the ethers, the other stuff that Nightdew has that Supremacy doesn't, the white robe, if this lets the turnaround come into play, very exciting swap here at the end.
Yeah, is his food berserked? Oh no, okay. I think he just accidentally fought.
I mean, hey, every little bit of damage counts.
And why not? We'll just duke him for good measure.
Ooh, high-powered nuke. And guess who doesn't know Life 2 yet?
Ooh. A wipe at this point would be devastating for Nightdew.
Yeah. Well, Sid is doing work. Like River said, having a cursed ring on Tella to bring that agility all the way down to 1 means even slow Sid is getting all the hits every swing.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances topping that HP off completely before Big Bang hits.
Yeah, the big issue, of course, is if Porum takes a wipe, you then have to kind of hope that Sid gets Black Hold so he can possibly get her up. Let's see how this Big Bang rolls.
Ow! And we're in clinch mode.
Speak of the devil. That was ridiculously high damage on Sid as well.
Yeah. Oh, we're in meteor phase. If Sid can survive it.
Can he dodge these? Can he get enough hits in between? One more meteor will knock him out. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we're so close. Oh.
Sid, do you have this? Sid, do you have this?
No! Oh, man. As clinch as it gets.
Oh my god.
It is still anybody's race, folks.
No regrinding, going right back in. Supremacy did just start the fight as well. Neck and neck. Who will it be between these two? Oh. Just to have... So, you know it was one more swing, Dave. You know it had to be one more swing.
Yeah. And
that would have been it for Nightdew. But Supremacy's right back on it. Got a few extra levels. Got that Porum at nearly 1900 HP. No White Robe, though.
Yeah, man, if you're Supremacy, you're Nightdew right now, their hearts have to be racing. Couch makes a good point. They have to be just sweating bullets.
Yeah, last night after that race, I tried to walk, and my left leg just had a complete tremor in it. Like, I hadn't been sitting on it funny. It wasn't pins and needles. It was just, oh god, oh god, oh god. And you know that these two have to be in the exact same shape.
I can only imagine just being all nerves at this point.
TCG Jin, let's not even contemplate that, because if it happens to anyone, it'll end up being me, and I don't need that kind of a I don't need to spend that kind of time dealing with medical issues.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If anybody's gonna croak during a race, it's gonna be me from the sheer suspense.
So Nightdew getting the true colors emerging. Supremacy a little bit ahead with his damage that's been going out.
But yeah, hopefully his timing works out better this time around.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, the grinding helped a little bit, but ultimately it's going to come down to that timing.
Looks like Supremacy's just hoping to dish out enough damage with Reflect strats. Doesn't seem to be not going to heal the party up. Oh, that white's a little too slow, Supremacy. Oh, did he not direct that at Sid? I could have sworn he cast it on Sid. Pardon me. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. I was not incorrect. The funny thing there, though, is that if Supremacy had not used the life on Tella, he could have actually gotten the Star Veil back up on Sid. But probably wanted to get the heal off without healing Zeromus as well. Or Nightmas, pardon me. Alright, and Porum wants to be the mirror for a little bit.
And Fu is already out of mana, so gonna have to down an elixir. Here comes Big Bang.
So we are gonna see these head-to-head strats pretty much, letting Sid just dish out 6 hits a turn pretty much. Wow!
Ah! There's another white, folks.
Well, and with that, Nightdew pulls the head again. Back and forth between these two.
Zeromus has not been pulling any punches in these round of 16 races.
I mean, at least tonight we're getting a good education in what you can do with lesser parties at Zeromus, how things can work out for you. You know, taking advantage of curse string strats to let even a mediocre hitter like Sid just do tons of physical damage. Trying to do reflect strats, having to worry about the timing of those. Very interesting to see these two strats go head to head. And Rivers, of course, executed his perfectly. That's why he won by more than a 10-minute buffer. But these two are no slouches. It's just Zeromus taking no prisoners. These huge Big Bang rolls.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to look at these races and say, well, I mean, obviously they should be doing this and they should be doing that, but I mean, this is very high stress situation. You know, like I said, we've been seeing more high roll big bangs during this leg of the tournament than we've seen through the whole rest of it. Through 100 something different racers going through it,
Yeah.
And especially with C3 and not having the ideal parties that they want to have, it really just throws a lot of curveballs to our racer.
And brief question in the chat, what happens if they tie? Which is a good question, because actually Rivers and Nightdew tied for second in the first match with Team Bahamut. If Supremacy and Nightdew tie, just the two of them will have to schedule a rematch. Rivers took first place all by himself. He would not have to be part of the re-race. The other two would still have to duke it out to see who advances there.
Yeah, it would be crazy to see another tie point.
But Supremacy is going right back at it. Throwing that Star Veil up, gonna probably try to do these reflect strats again, while Nightdew's still letting that Sid do all the work.
Supremacy's no slouch. I mean, at the very least from that last fight, he knew what he did wrong. He knew what he needs to do going into this fight. Heck, even Tella's getting in on the action.
Hey, I can do 4 digits. I'm not completely worthless.
Every little bit. Clawing to get that second place spot. Nightdew at this point in a pretty consistent place unless this Big Bang high rolls him.
Yeah, Nightdew's biggest concern is enduring a full-powered Big Bang, which takes out both Fu and Porum. As long as one or the other stands, they'll be okay.
Fortunately, got pretty lucky there, pretty low roll, so was able to survive it. Unfortunately, the nerf nuke cost him. Porum went down, but
yeah,
should be able to recover.
A little bad timing there. Oh, we are in medio phase though. Does Fu dodge it?
He's
dodge
down
it?
to the clinch again.
Is he gonna heal?
Okay. Cure off.
I was thinking that maybe he would just try a nuke just to do the direct damage and finish it off.
At this point, he's probably gonna play it safe.
Yeah, with that level of HP, I think Nightdew is in the clear. He's made it to where he needed to. It would take a lot of meteos to take him down now.
Pretty secure. Yep, there it is.
There is the flash, and Nightdew has officially finished in second place. 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 20 seconds. Nightdew advancing to the final day as well. Supremacy, part of that 4-way tie for 9th. Wonderfully done, had a little bad luck this seed, but looks like he is going to try to finish it out for us. So we'll have a little entertainment, and we'll see if we can get Nightdew in for an interview.
Supremacy here, struggling. Looks like he may be looking at another potential wipe.
Hello, everybody.
So, how's your pulse and blood pressure right now?
I have a hospital 2 blocks away.
Hey, same. It's kind of convenient for these races.
And sorry, but just to interrupt real quickly, Supremacy has forfeited.
Oh no.
Yeah, we invited him to come in too when he gets a chance, but that was just ridiculous back and forth at the end. Supremacy made it to the Z fight a little before you, and then you went on a shopping spree. Were you looking for ethers, or what were you hunting at that time?
Ethers. I found out that there were no ethers that were not hook locked or darkness locked.
Well, thank you for finding that out for us. As someone with okay, I'm not going to continue the ether addiction memes. I've said it enough tonight. But so he was in there first, wiped, regrinded. You were in there, had that wipe during medio phase where you're like, Sid, just dodge one time, and Sid, and then swapped back around and you pulled it off. What was your plan going into that fight?
My plan was actually to borrow something. I didn't honestly think Sid had that much damage. I knew I actually, killed Tella and actually just kind of finally, gave into the kill somebody for the anchor. Tella wasn't doing much. But when I saw Sid doing upwards of about 3,000 and hitting about like 5 times between big bangs, I'm like, wait a minute here. I think we're onto something here because he's doing about 3,000. So that's, we're going to have to eat about 5 to 6 big bangs. And I know Fusoya about 2,100 hit points. I kind of wish I threw him the apple, honestly. But you also saw what I did the first, and I just had, I don't know if it was jitters or what have you, so many misclicks. Zerking, Fu, casting exit, 3 times during the match? I mean, jitters, you can blame the controller a little bit, but not so much that it's like, it's just, it's that.
It turns out that if you give Sid a power robe and a Zeus gauntlet, he actually does become a little bit of a DPS machine, huh?
Yes, very much so.
We are also joined at this time by Supremacy. Supremacy, GG, dude. Such admirable attempts at that Zeromus fight and just got the best of you. How are you doing tonight?
I think that was probably the worst I've ever played. As soon as I saw the sirens, I knew I was probably way behind and was going to lose. It was way too many wipes before even getting the crystal. And then I just kind of had to go all in on doing that as early as possible with the pass, and it could never got it online.
You were all grinding at pretty much the same time. You were the first one to do Ordeals, so you had the tele utility. Both Nightdew and Rivers did have sirens, had a few extra levels on you, and then you all got wiped by Wyvern. Don't worry, no one made it through that. But the Odin fight did stymie you a bit more than it did the other two. But yeah, as I was telling Nightdew before you came in, you two were back and forth. You each had wipes at Zeromus. You were actually the first one there, and just back and forth, keeping us on the edge of our seats. So, Rivers said to give us a show in the IRC before y'all started, and y'all did just that.
Yeah, I'll have to try and figure this out and see if I can actually beat Zeromus with this party. Probably the Reflect strat was not the right one. Sounds like Nightdew just berserked Sid and let him go to it. Maybe that's probably what I should have done.
Yeah, and Rivers did pretty much the same with a little bit of hybrid strats tossed in there as well. So definitely some options. But Nightdew, you've made it to the final day. Supremacy, you tied for 9th. You came in, you just did work this entire league. Do you have any final thoughts for your opponents or for the remaining racers going forward?
Well, I hope one of my 2 opponents brings it home, because it always feels better whenever you lose to someone who win the whole thing.
Yes, absolutely. It was an honor playing with you, Rivers, and obviously going forward. But I will promise I will do whatever I can, along with Rivers, to bring the title to Team K Bahamut here.
Being in the commentator's booth tonight, I will hold my tongue at that.
We'll see you in the finals, Invenerable.
Hey, don't say that. I have a lot of work to go through. We do have 2 more races coming up this week, both the final playoff matches for their respective groups. Tomorrow night, it's me, Dusty Griff, and Aizen Tiyama at the same time this one was, 8:30 Eastern. Thursday night, the group Troya has El Magus, Nirm, and Penguinator playing at 10 o'clock Eastern. So come on by tomorrow night and the next, and we have a lot more Zemus-Zone action. Excellent racers. I hope I don't have to go visit the hospital. And Dave, you have anything else to add for us tonight?
Yeah, just real quick. In just a moment, we're going to be rating and hosting another runner to give them our support. Before we do that, I just want to say, Invenerable, my first commentary I did, wet behind the ears, just finding free enterprise for the first time, was actually with you. I didn't want to say anything until the end here, so it was fantastic now that I actually know you to get the opportunity to do it again, and I had a blast tonight. So I just want to say thank you, and I had a blast.
Extremely same.
All right, so we're going to be handing it over to raid Rex Rawl, one of our also fellow commentators and runners of Free Enterprise. So please give him your support, and thanks for joining us tonight.